Generally, when it comes to fasting, it's very thoughtful to think ahead and practice some safe measures to make sure that you're practicing fasting in a safe environment. So always keep in mind safety first. Okay. So in the following slides, you'll find out how you can put safety first and how you can avoid unpleasant consequences. The first rule is to drink water to first, and sometimes even more, because water is essential to detoxing and we need water to flush out toxins. However, I do not suggest you drink water more and more just because you think your body is some sort of toilet. That's absolutely false. Drink water when you feel thirsty and then drink a bit more. Your urine should have a golden color, but it shouldn't be just pure water. Okay? You should be very attentive at signs of when you're overdoing fasting. These signs occur over a longer period of time. Unfortunately, these signs can also appear because of other stress factors, but we're trying to isolate them here strictly to fasting. Such symptoms include chronic fatigue, a bad mood, but generally speaking, when you don't eat, sometimes you do have a bad mood, lack of hunger, again, might be over a very long time, a lowered libido, and many other more subjective symptoms. Overall, you might feel very lacking joy and energy in your life, but again, this should happen over at least 1 month to start thinking about fasting as a cause for them. If you're dizzy or weak, please sit or lie down. And if you think you cannot continue water fasting anymore, try eating a couple of spoonfuls of coconut oil, which will even out your blood sugar levels slowly but surely. The biggest danger that you can encounter in fasting is hypoglycemia, which we'll talk about much more in depth in the next module. It's very important that you have patience and progress slowly. Most of the unpleasant things that happen usually when people start fasting happen because they overdo it. They jump in and they bite more than they can chew, and then they blame the process itself. That's not true. Always have patience, always start slowly, and if at any time you feel that it's too intense for you, just stop and you can start over the next time. Okay, that's not a failure, it's just that you have met your limits, and that's okay. Do not force your body. If you overdo it, you're going to burn out your adrenal glands, which will only increase the total stress, the total quantity of stress factors on your body, which will lead to a worsened diabetes and even higher blood sugar levels, especially in the morning. It's what we discussed, that's called dawn phenomenon. Okay, so the dawn phenomenon, in the morning you might experience higher blood sugar levels just because you're fasting more than your body wants to. Please don't think that you can eat whatever you want in the rest of the time that you're not fasting, because that's not true. This works, people think that this can work just because we function usually on a reward versus a punishment basis, okay? But it's not true. Even if you're fasting, that doesn't mean that you can eat whatever you want in the rest of the time. So this makes it more important to follow the nutritional strategies that you learned about in this course. Eat only natural foods in the non-fasting periods, foods that are high in protein and fats and very low in carbohydrates. Lastly, but I'm sure I repeated this a couple of times, but it's worth mentioning again, avoid overdoing it, because fasting is like a very sharp knife. It can work very well for reversing diabetes faster and lowering your blood sugar, but it can also work against you if you're forcing it too much. So avoid overdoing it, listen to your body, and stop when you feel that it's more than you can handle. Okay? If you follow these guidelines, I guarantee you won't experience any trouble whatsoever.